My name is Valerie Nkesi Etitinwo. I am an artist. I'm based in Geneva, Switzerland. I've been painting officially since 2019, unofficially since I was born. I paint, I do pottery as well. So I wasn't trained like in a school, but I was trained in an atelier. I was there for about 10 years. I acquired a lot of skills from this one artist who really basically taught me everything I know. So her name is Claire-Lise Debrot. She's a Swiss lady, very lovely woman. She also is an artist. She used to sell her work for a bit, and so I met her basically in a school. My parents kind of knew that I had an interest in art, and the way it started is that she was giving art lessons in my primary school basically, and they decided to enroll me, and then from there we kind of kept the relationship, and even when she moved, I kind of followed as her student. You know, she saw something in me and decided to keep working with me. My earliest artistic memory, it was at creche when I was literally a baby, and actually ate the paint. And I remember I remember creating this piece that my parents actually still have in their living room, and to me it makes no sense, but for some reason they really love it. And yeah, that's, I would say, my first ever interaction with paint and art, and just basically getting my hands dirty. So my creative process, I have the really formal way of, I guess, the standard way of creating art. So I start on paper usually and kind of sketch out an idea of what I want to create, and then I use either a watercolor or wax pastels to kind of map out where I want the colors to be. So this is the way I wish I liked creating art, but usually I just start on the canvas immediately. So I go with a marker, a permanent marker, straight on the canvas, kind of draw out the shapes exactly the way I want them to be drawn, and then on top of that I use basically underpainting. So I use a very diluted paint to kind of, because I don't like working straight on white canvas, so I use a darker, more diluted color to paint the entire canvas, and then I work on the colors. And I use actually quite small brushes for the size of the canvas that I'm working on, especially obviously for backgrounds. If it's just one solid color, I can go with a big brush, but then when it comes to skin, face, detailed stuff, I like using very small brushes and different shades of the same color basically to give more shape and dimension. I just prefer just going with the flow and just building. And then I like also working on multiple paint. For example, if I'm creating a collection, I like working on multiple paintings and kind of work everything together, as opposed to starting one piece, finishing it, and starting another one, because by the time I'm on the fourth piece, I've forgotten what the first one looks like. So I would say that my artistic style was born out of kind of frustration of me trying to achieve realism for a very long time, because that's when I learned the first few years of me painting was realism. You have to have an observant eye, and you have to your painting has to look like a picture basically, and it's something that I've never been able to achieve. I guess if I really focus and do it, I could get something to look semi-realistic, but then when I see people that actually do real realism, it's amazing, and I can definitely see that, okay, that's not me. And so my style was really born out of just me pulling away from that and kind of experimenting with different things, and I try and make things look in a way kind of absurd, but also recognizable. Like you can see, okay, this is a fruit, this is a person, this, like you can recognize the objects. This is something I always try to keep, no matter how crooked my paintings might be. So yeah, and I like also keeping a sense of humor in my pieces, and a playfulness, especially with the colors, and it's something I always try and keep. So in general, in my work, I like to showcase just human beings in general and just how we live. It could be, I could look at human beings from my more Nigerian side, and then sometimes from my more Swiss side. So like I would say my main focus in every piece that I create is usually humans. So the reason why I chose this theme, or like how I got to this point, was a lot of experiment, a lot of trial and error, a lot of wasting of canvas. And I kind of, with this collection, I kind of went back to the basics, and in terms of technique and also like just basic emotions. Yeah, it was basically just a journey. I was trying to make something very complex and very intricate, and then I just literally went back to some of my work that I did in 2019 and looked at them and kind of saw like, okay, what are my signature features, would I say? And I went back to that. And then also, because of just the simplistic nature of like my thought process, I think experimentation for any artist is just the only way, or maybe like one of the only ways to grow. It's very important. I think just everybody should keep experimenting, at least in the creative space. Everybody should keep experimenting, because like you never know how far you can go. What does success mean to me? For me, it's really being able to live through my work and being able to have legacy and possibly like train someone as well. Biggest turning point was Art Space Warehouse. It's a gallery I've been working with since 2020, and these people really like took a chance with me because I didn't have that much experience. So they're based in LA, California, and they work with a lot of studios and movie producers and different things, like in the movie industry in America. And so like I was able to be featured, one of my paintings, in a major TV show, which I can say now because I couldn't say that for a long time, but the TV show Insecure. Yes, sorry. Which for me, it was really mind-blowing, and even so it's very hard to have Nigerian parents on board with you doing art like for a living. So when this happened, I think it really brought peace with my parents. So my favorite is the first one I created of this collection. It's called I Just Want to Make My Mama Proud. I just used the acronym to name the painting. And I tend to always like the first piece I create out of the collection. I'm not sure why. I think because it's the one that came out like the most naturally, and then the rest kind of had to follow and be like as not close but like as cohesive. Like I just really like how I felt when I was done creating that piece, and yeah, I think it's a fantastic piece. The easiest part of creating this collection is once I found my groove of like what I wanted to create, and then I worked on that. But what I loved was I had a clear idea of what I wanted everything to look as a whole together, and that makes creating so much easier. The hardest part for me was really finding the joy to like from what I was creating, and then also time, because I was experimenting so much. I was losing a lot of time, so it really got down to the wire. But I'm really, really happy with what I came up with, and yeah, I hope people like it as well. I always say I hope people smile when they see my work. For me, like I said, it's supposed to be a free interpretation collection, so I really hope that people kind of feel free enough to really make the meanings of these paintings their own. I think the biggest lesson I've learned so far is to not do past yourself, because sometimes you just want to take all the opportunities you can get, like take all the commissions you can get, because you think that this is what will make you grow. But then when you create work that you're not necessarily satisfied with, and you still have to put it out, like it stays there. So like it's there forever. So like I'm still proud of like the whole journey in general, but like there's definitely some opportunities that I would have said no to, or that I would have said okay, maybe later.